Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to my humble, beautiful space. If you're stopping by for the first time, please consider subscribing, like, share, and comment. Don't forget to press the notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you, bro. Thank you for always coming back. We have a good time here. And without wasting time, let's jump into today's video. Whatever we are going to talk about today, if you're planning to relocate to Qatar, please watch this video. Or if you just arrived in Qatar and you don't even know how to go about in this country, then this video is for you. Make sure you watch it till the end. Come on over, let's pick up where we left off. So guys, today I want to share important things that you should always consider in case you're planning to relocate to Qatar, or if you're already in Qatar and you are a newbie and you don't understand anything. Because there was a time I got this question from one of my subscribers, and the person told me that it was going for almost 5 months, if I'm not wrong, and they had not gotten their resident permit yet, which is something that you should always keep in mind whenever you arrive in this country. It just depends if you came here under a contract with a certain company. These are the most important things you should always be careful about. So the first thing is, whenever you arrive to this company that has brought you to Qatar, they will always give you a contract to sign. And before you sign the contract, these are the key things you should always check, especially for those people who are coming to work with companies that are not big companies, they are like private companies. Before signing the contract, take your time. No one is rushing you. If they are rushing you, tell them, no, I have to take my time and read this contract before I sign anything, because you have to sign the contract before you get your resident permit. So the first thing will always be the visa process, and then the second thing will be signing your contract and your offer letter. So these two things are the most important things that you have to take your time to read. Most of the time you'll always find that the contract is written in Arabic, but they always have like one in Arabic and one in English. If you get one contract and they don't even have a copy of a translation contract, don't sign it. Don't sign it. Ask them to give you a copy of an English contract. Nowadays you can use your phone to translate everything. So if they don't have it in English, take your phone, make sure you take a picture of that contract, every single page, bit by bit. Take picture of that contract, translate it into English and read, so that you can know what you are signing yourself into. And even if they will give you an English version of that contract, make sure you still take pictures so that you can know, because you never know. They might be giving you a different contract and you are signing a different contract thinking that they are the same. A lot of you don't even read those contracts. Take your time to read the contract, translate it. If it's in Arabic, translate it before you sign it. If they rush you, tell them, no, I need to take my time to read this because I have the right to read and understand before signing anything. And another thing, once you sign your contract and you sign your offer letter, also your offer letter is something that you should always read. After signing these two things, then the next step is the company will start processing. The company will start processing your resident permit. Most of the time you'll have to go for a medical. In Doha, we go to medical first for you to get the resident permit. You have a process immediately when you arrive. For me, mine was very fast because I was working in a restaurant. So if you're working in a restaurant, they always take these things very serious. You have to go for a medical immediately when you arrive to this country. So the first process will be going for the medical, and they will check your blood. I don't know what they check there, but they check a lot of things. So here they test pregnancy, they test tuberculosis, they test HIV, they test all types of diseases. Some of them we don't even know, but when you go to medical, they take your blood sample and they will take you to an x-ray room where they will do an x-ray for you to check if you have any tuberculosis marks or anything, something like that, even pneumonia. So make sure if you had tuberculosis, check it first if it's still there, or if you still have marks on your lungs. And also just do a HIV test just to check. And another thing is pregnancy tests, do all these things before you come here, because you will never get a resident permit before going through this process of medical. For anyone who is working in this country, trust you me, they've been through this process to get their resident permit. Some of the companies usually go back every year or after 6 months, especially if you work at the restaurant or hotel. Usually we go back after every 6 months or every year to do the checkup once again. But for those people who are working in maybe offices or those companies, once you do it once, you'll never do it again. But it's very, very important for you to check yourself before coming to this country. I was talking about the resident permit process. For this process to go through, they will have to take the sample of everything that I've mentioned: pregnancy, HIV, tuberculosis. They will take this from your blood sample, and they will check your chest and everything. And usually after you do the medical process, it might take 2 to 3 days for them to get back to the company with the results. So once you finish your medical and everything and your results are okay, and that's when they will give you the chance to go to fingerprints. If your medical fails, nothing will happen. Everything will have to stop. Nothing will go on. But if your medical was okay, that's when they will take you to the next process, which will be fingerprints. It always happens the next or few days after your medical. Then from there you will start waiting for your resident permit. It always takes, like, I think if it goes very fast, because they have to go through the labor process, and it might take maybe a week or something. It just depends with the company, because there's some payment they need to make. So it just depends with the company. But trust me, it takes, like, I think 4 or 5 days you will get your resident permit if you pay immediately from the labor office. Correct me if I'm wrong on the comment section. If you live in Qatar and you have more information about this, kindly you can comment down below and let me know. Another thing is, if you're coming to work with this company, you have to make sure you have a resident permit. After 1 month of you residing to this country, make sure they give you a resident permit. Don't let it go up to 4 or 3 months, because this country is very, very strict. No matter what, if you go outside and the police stop you and they ask you, can you show us your resident permit? And especially if you're from African country, they usually stop us on the road. If they realize you don't have a resident permit, trust me, they never listen to you. They never listen to you, because they will ask you, why don't you talk to your company to give you the resident permit? Why don't you have a resident permit and you've been living in this country for almost 4 months? Some companies, they always give you a paper to work with, or you might work with your passport. But to be honest, to be on the safe side, the best thing is to make sure your company gives you your resident permit immediately when you arrive in this country. And another thing you need to have is a health card, and this health card, you'll get it from your company. It's very important to have a health card, because this health card will always help you when you're going to hospital. So you will not have to pay a lot of money, especially when you're going to government hospital. They will always ask you for a health card. So if you don't have a health card, maybe your bill at the hospital was supposed to be 100 riyal. It might end up to be more. Make sure you always ask your company to make you this health card. But the first thing has to be your resident permit, because still, even if you don't have a health card, you can still go to hospital with your resident permit. But if you have the health card, it always helps, because you will always have your record and you will not have to pay a lot of money.